Welcome to your lower body strength flow. For today, you're going to need a chair, something you put your heels on and with the back that we can hold on to for support, and a book, something that we can lift our heels firm and steady, maybe about an inch, inch and a half thick. Once we get going, we're not going to stop. We'll keep flowing to the end, so join me on the ground to begin with a bit of breath. Flat on your back, heels on the chair. Your body should be a series of 90 degrees. Thighs 90 degrees to the torso, knees bent at 90 degrees. Let's get a little downward pressure in the heels until we feel the hamstrings turn on a bit. We're just going to go for 6 exhales. Hands on your lower ribs. Nice, easy inhale anyhow. And then a steady exhale through the lips until you're all the way empty. We want to feel that rib cage change shape and shrink over the course of that exhale. Good. Inhale again. And then exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. Like you're breathing through a straw, not a coffee straw, but not a full dump of air either. That's 3. Inhale. And exhale. Again, feeling that rib cage change shape just through exhaling, all the way empty. If you feel front and side belly stuff grip at the bottom of that exhale, we're doing well. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Spine stays long and heavy in the ground, relaxed. Last one, inhale. And last exhale, make it your most complete. Every last molecule of air out. Fantastic, done. Let's go ahead and get the heels off the chair. We're going to go to sitting. We're going to give a little love into the knees. One leg will be tucked under, kind of like a half cross leg. We'll go ahead and focus on the left for now. So left arm is going to reach behind the left thigh, and we're going to headlock that thigh, clasping hands, lifting your left foot off the ground. Here we're adding rotation of the knee to its ability to straighten and bend. Go ahead and spin that shin to the outside. Toes spin to the outside, heel scoops in. We're going to hold that orientation as we straighten. We're going for 3 repetitions in each direction. Go ahead and spin those toes in, heel scoops out, and pull. Fantastic. Toes out, heel scoops in, shin spins to the outside, and straighten. Toes in, heel scoops out, and pull. One more in this direction. Toes out, heel scoops in, and straighten. And then toes in, heel scoops out, and pull. If we're doing this right, we won't get that knee fully locked out. We're going to keep this inward orientation as we straighten as far as we can without that thigh drifting away from the chest. And then find outward rotation again and pull. 2 more. Inward spin and straighten. Outward spin and pull. Last one. Internal rotation and straighten. External rotation and pull. Fantastic. Let's switch sides. Focusing on the right now. Right arm reaches behind the right thigh and headlocks. Hands clasp, and we lift that heel off the ground. We'll begin again, rotating that shin to the outside and straighten with an exhale. Take your time to find rotation to the inside and pull. You can think of turning a doorknob with the middle of your foot, rotating to the outside and straighten. Again, turning a doorknob with the middle of your foot as we rotate to the inside and pull. One more in this direction. External rotation and straighten. Internal rotation and pull. Fantastic. Let's switch directions here. Keep that internal rotation orientation and extend with an exhale. External rotation and pull. Two more. Without that thigh drifting away from the chest, let's find a little bit more rotation. Twist out a little bit more and straighten. A little harder. External rotation and pull. Last one. Internal rotation, fight for more rotation even as you straighten that leg. External rotation. And last bit here, let's pull. Fantastic. Moving on to the ankles, we'll switch back to the left. We're going to grab that shin, lean on, hug it to the chest, lean on back a bit just to get that foot off the ground, a little clearance from the heel. We'll begin in a ballet point. We're going to sweep those toes to the inside and then pull like we're trying to touch the top of the foot to your shin. And then we'll scrape us across to pinky toe side and gas pedal down. If you had a paintbrush attached to your middle toe, we're trying to draw the largest circle possible with that paintbrush as smoothly as possible with this ankle. Over to pinky toe side and down. As we're going through this circle, pay attention to the squeezy stuff around the ankle. That is the initiator and the driver of this movement, even if I'm cueing you through the toes. We found our ballet point. Let's switch directions. Reach toward pinky toe side. Try to scrape your shin with your big toe. Reach over to big toe side and gas pedal down. Two more. Great. Last one, reaching for another 0.5 millimeter in all directions for that foot. And we'll end in that ballet point before switching over to the right leg. Again, we'll start in that ballet point and we'll sweep over towards big toe side and then try to touch the toes and the top of the foot to the shins. Good. Over to pinky toe side and gas pedal down. Two more. Nice smooth circles. Trying to control the smoothness through any of the choppy, skippy bits. Fantastic. I might be giving you an extra, but we'll go one more for the road, ending in that ballet point before switching directions. Over toward pinky toe side. Try to scrape your shin with the big toe. Big toe side, gas pedal down. Two more. Last one, reaching for another 0.5 millimeter in all directions in this circle. Fantastic. Stand on up to join me for some hip cars. Here you can find a wall, any surface you can hold on to. We'll be going for the leg opposite to the hand that's holding on. The job of the leg that remains standing and the torso is to maintain some stiffness and integrity so the t-shirt doesn't really know what this leg is trying to do as we reach it through its greatest pain-free range of rotation. So let's begin crisscross applesauce and then start to try to eat a hamburger off the inside of that foot. Good. That heel will drop as we continue to lift through the knee. Belt buckle stays forward as we sweep that thigh open like a barn door. Freeze. Knee stays high and open as we lift that heel gently over a barbed wire fence and begin to shut a door behind us with that heel and back on down. Fantastic. Let's reverse. Shut that door. Step over the barbed wire fence as far off to the side as you can without wrinkling your shirt. And finish eating hamburger off the inside of that foot. Let's go one more. Eat a hamburger. Lift the knee. Open the barn door. Freeze. Stay open and high in that knee as we lift that heel over a barbed wire fence. And then shut a door or push a heavy box back behind us. Close up shop with the thighs. Reverse. Pushing that heavy box without crinkling the t-shirt in the low back. Lift that knee open to the side and step over that barbed wire fence on your way to serving yourself that hamburger. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Over to your right. Here we go. Crisscross applesauce. Serve yourself that hamburger. Continue to lift through that knee. Swing the thigh open to the side. Begin to lift that heel. If you find pinching, just drop that knee and continue your rep. Good. Shoving that heavy box across the floor. Back together. Open to the side. Step over the barbed wire fence. Serve yourself a hamburger. Last rep. Increase the stiffness in the whole body and the standing leg. We're going to reach for another 0.5 millimeter in all directions. Crisscross. Serve yourself that hamburger 0.5 millimeter higher than you did last time. Lift that knee a little bit more than you did last time. Swing that thigh open. Knee stays right where it is. Get that heel over the barbed wire fence. Shut that door. And down. Good. Another big breath in. Generate that stiffness. We have the last half rep. Shut the door. Step over that barbed wire fence off to the side. Serve yourself that hamburger on the inside of your foot. Come on down. Well done. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more warmed up. We're ready to go for our squats. Here you're going to use your book. If you'd like a wider stance in your feet, you may need 2 of equal width. We're going to put that on the ground. Heels are going to go on the edge of the book. We want the edge of that book right in the meat of the heels, not underneath the arch. This way we can share some of our body weight with the front half of the foot. Toes can be parallel or slightly pointed to the side to make it a little more breathable for the hips. We're going to go for anywhere between 12 to 20 reps body weight. Today we'll go for 15, but I want you to go until you have 2 or 3 reps left in the tank. Good reps left in the tank. That will be the end of your set. We have 3 sets with 1.5 minutes of rest in between where we're going to do something active for the spine. And we'll begin. Take a big breath in, bending the knees as we sit down, and stand on up. There's 1. And 2. Good. 3. 4. And 5. Good. 10 more. Arms are in front of you. 6. Aiming those elbows for between the thighs or on top of the thighs. 7. 8. 9. And 10. 5 more. Here we go. Last 5 in the set. 1. 2. 3. 2 more. 4. And last one makes 15. Fantastic. Let's set that book to the side for 1.5 minutes of rest. Join me on hands and knees if you'd like to grease up the spine, or if you need it, take this as pure rest. I'm going to begin all the way rounded. We're going to do the wave. Trying to kiss my belly button, trying to stamp my belt buckle into my forehead. We'll begin each time at the tailbone. Here I'm going to untuck my tailbone, finding a little squeeze and crinkle in the t-shirt and the low back. And let that squeeze climb the spine 1 inch at a time. On my way to looking up at the ceiling and the wall in front of me. And then I'll reverse. Begin to tuck that tailbone like somebody's trying to touch my low belly and I'm pulling away. And then they're trying to touch my belly button, my low ribs, I pull away. My chest gets concaved. And then the head drops. 1 more. We'll speed it up just a little bit. Here we are. Looking for smoothness of the climb with that tension up the spine. Same thing in reverse. Looking for smoothness as we stretch out that t-shirt in the back 1 inch at a time. Vertebrae by vertebrae on our way to rounding the whole spine. We've got about 10 seconds left. We'll go ahead and mosey on up. We'll get our heels again on that book. or your 2 books, or the floor if you'd like to do this without any lift in the heel. And we'll go for set 2 of our squats. And we begin. Breath in on the way down, and exhale. Good. 1, 2, nice steady pace. 3, 4, and 5. There we go. 5 done. Next 5. 1, 2, heavy in the heels, pushing through the arch. On the way up, 4, 5. Good. 5 more. 1. Trying to feel this in the butt, the thighs, maybe even the belly. There's 3. Last 2. 4. And 5. Fantastic. We take our little breather, 1.5 minutes again of rest. If you like it, pure rest is totally acceptable. Or join me again for 2 more smooth spine waves. All the way rounded, beginning at that tailbone. Let's crinkle that t-shirt 1 inch at a time. The win here is feeling, trying to feel each inch as it's its turn to squeeze. On our way to looking at the ceiling. And again in reverse, somebody's trying to touch your low belly, we pull away. Trying to touch your belly button, your low ribs, as we round from the bottom to the top. Then 1 more. Tailbone lifts. Trying to make that squeeze that we get in the low back. Climb the spine smoothly from bottom to top. And finally, the last half rep. Tucking that tailbone, rounding the low back, trying to smooth out that crinkled t-shirt 1 inch at a time from the bottom to the top. Beautiful. Another 10 seconds left before we go. We'll mosey on up. Get the heels on the book. Take a breath in to collect yourself. Get your weight distributed well across the feet. And we'll begin. Nice inhale on the way down. We'll save that exhale for our standing up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Last 5. 1, 2, 3. Last 2. 4. Here's 15. And 5. Well done. Done with squats. If you love them, you can come back at them next week or later this week. If you hated them, you can forget about them for now. We are on to our hip hinge. If squats are mostly focused on getting some good squeeze in the thigh, also the butt, the hip hinge is focused on challenging the butt and the hamstrings. Here we're going to need the back of a chair. This is going to help with both stability and effort. The more I use this, the easier this is. The less I use this, the harder this is. Start with your feet together. Let's kickstand 1 leg back. That is there for balance and maybe a little bit of support in the effort. The leg that stays forward, get your hand on your butt cheek. We are going to do a bit of the drinking bird. The torso is going to lean forward while we reach this glute, this butt cheek back. Soft knee. We're going to fill this hand with butt cheek, seeking out a stretch in the butt and the hamstring without locking out that knee. Using the chair can help you get a little bit more depth here. And we're going to stay heavy in that front leg. We're going to pretend like that back foot is broken. We don't want to use it, even if it's there for support. We're going to stand up nice and smoothly, showing off our belt buckle as soon as we can. There's 1, 2 more reps. Inhale. Weight over the midfoot, soft knee. Reaching back to fill that palm with butt cheek. Whenever you feel that butt cheek stop filling, stop stretching, that's your depth. A short pause, and then one of our exhales will take us back tall again. Butt cheek and hamstring muscles that were being stretched, pulling taut to lift us. 1 more. Inhale. Whenever that butt cheek stops stretching and filling in those shorts or the pants, that's your depth. Hang there, and then stand up. Nice and smooth. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Get set up. Opposite leg steps back. This time we'll use both hands on the chair, or continue to put one hand on your butt cheek if you'd still like the feedback. And we'll go ahead and hinge again. Trying to fill your shorts with butt cheek. The more liberally you use your hands, the easier you might find it to get a little bit further down, as we've made it easier for the butt and the hamstring. And then stand on up. Heavy on that front foot, ending balanced over that front leg. There's 1, 2 more. Sinking. Tail feathers up, like you want to really moon someone behind you. And then stand back up nice and smoothly. Again, heavy in that lead leg. Good. Last rep on this side. Soft knee as we go tail feathers up, trying to moon someone behind us. Strong on that lead foot, ending balanced over that lead leg as we go to show off our belt buckle. Fantastic. No rest for the weary. Back to our initial leg. Here we go. Strong foot into the ground, soft knee. Go ahead and reach back into that butt and hamstring without locking out that knee. If you lock out that knee, we'll get a lot more hamstring, but we're going to lose a little access to the butt cheeks and the glutes, and that's what we want to get in here as well. Back on up. Good. 2 more. Inhale on the way down. And exhale on the way up. Last one. Inhale on the way down. Good. And exhale as we stand nice and slow, relishing in the effort and the tensions we feel in the butt and the hamstring. Last set on the other leg, just to even us out. Go ahead and get your set up. Set your foot back. Take a couple breaths to collect yourself. And we are off. Reaching back into that butt and hamstring, tail feathers up. Trying to bust our shorts or our pants with that butt cheek. When we get any more swelling, that's our depth. We'll hang out here for just a breath. Great. Whatever's being stretched starts to contract. That'll do the lifting for us as we stand up, ending balanced on that lead leg, showing off our belt buckle as soon as we can. 2 more. Nice, slow, smooth pace. Smoothness, control is the win. Hang out for a second, and then we reverse slowly, standing on tall. If things are shaken, They are cooking, and you're doing this well. Last repetition. Good weight on the heel, good weight on the midfoot or the arch. And stand tall. Beautiful. Super well done. Now, while those hamstrings are running hot, we're going to toast them with a little isometric, which is where we get effort but no movement. I'll have you mosey on down to the ground with me. We'll lay flat on the back. Heels on the ground, toes are pointed at the ceiling. Here, we are going to make this more like a running position and challenge the hamstrings a little bit further down toward the back of the knees. The way that we do that is we find a distance away from the body where it feels like a good 7 out of 10 challenge. We're going to be pushing the heels into the ground, trying to lift the whole spine off the ground like one straight 2x4. So I'm going to take a big breath in, a nice exhale to gather my torso, another breath in, and on this next exhale I'm going to push those heels into the floor, trying to lift my spine off the ground. And I'm going to tuck that tailbone through my thighs to feel more butt and hamstring. If I had a glass of water on my zipper, I'm tipping my pelvis in a way that would spill that water onto my belly and chest. And we're going to hang out here. Take a break if you need to. Rejoin me when you feel ready. Here we're using 2 legs. If you've got the stamina, if you've got the juice, and if it isn't quite that 7 out of 10 yet, what we're going to do is start to lift one heel off the ground and march, setting it back down, lifting the other heel off the ground, setting it back down. If you can't get the heel off the ground, that's okay. Just think about lifting one heel and giving more work to the other, and then think about lifting the other heel and giving more work to the first heel. As we do this, trying to maintain stability in that pelvis, that same glass of water on our zipper, we're not spilling it side to side. We're going to keep it steady and ripple free. You don't have to follow me through this whole time. Go until you're 7 out of 10 cooked. Leave some reps in reserve or some time in reserve. Fighting for the height of that pelvis off the ground. And done. That'll be enough for today. Let's stand on up. Moving a little further down the chain, we're going to give some love to the calves, to the ankles, to the Achilles. Get them nice and strong and ready for running. The way that we're going to do that is by using that same book we had earlier. This is here to lift the forefoot. So we're going to get the forefoot, not just the toes, but the pads at the front of the foot on top of that book. We're going to bend that knee, sit that butt back a little bit, like you're just beginning to sit down to a chair that's a little bit behind you. We're going to keep this orientation of the body as we lift and set down the heel. As we're lifting to that heel, we don't want to let that knee straighten out. We're going to keep that knee bend. The whole body keeps the shape. Just our ankle is moving, just the foot going into a ballet point and coming back down. We're going for 5 reps on each side. This opposite leg is going to help out for the first half. So we're going to use 2 feet up and 1 foot down. I hope you've enjoyed that extra rest as I've explained. Here we go. We're going for 5 good repetitions on one leg, and then we'll get to 5 good repetitions on the other. Big breath in. Both feet go into a ballet point, helping you up. Shift your weight over to that right foot and lower smoothly with control over the course of about 4 seconds. Good. Both feet up. And just solo right foot all the way down. Again, third rep, both feet up, knees stay bent. Shift the weight to the right, staying high in that heel, and smoothly down with control. If lifting off that left foot is too hard, go ahead and just give a portion of its work over to the right to make the right work harder. If this is the fourth rep, left foot comes up, that heel stays high, and we're going to lower with control, touching down smoothly. Last rep, lift on up in those heels, shift on over, and lower with control. Fantastic. We will head over to the left here, give it the same loving. Breath in, both feet up. Left heel stays high as we take the right foot away, and we lower with control, keeping the weight under the ball of the big toe, ball of the middle toe. Great. Lift with both, shift over to the left, and lower smoothly with control. That's 2. Lift on up with both. Stay high in that heel as we remove the right foot. Lower smoothly with control. 2 more repetitions, both lift. Shift that weight over to the left as we remove the right. Lower smoothly with control. Last repetition. Weight under the ball of the big toe, highest ballet point yet. Take a breath in. Remove that right foot without the left heel dropping, and then begin your descent smoothly, touching down. Fantastic. Last finisher here. We're going to go for a plank for time. Take that book out of the way. Give yourself some breathing room and space. Here we go. Coming down to the elbows. Take a big breath in. Set one foot back. Another big breath in. And set that other foot back. Here I'll have you tuck that tailbone. We're looking for some low belly squeeze. And then we're going to pull ourselves forward gently on those elbows, like our head is a battering ram, dropping the hips and that zipper to the floor just a little bit. So we are tucking the tailbone and the zipper into the floor while trying to keep the belly button away from the ground. Firm in the toes, strong in the elbows, pushing the floor away will keep us good and strong here. Staying long in the spine as we fatigue, fighting to keep the low back chill, not crinkling the t-shirt in the low back. That's that tuck of the tailbone and the lift of the belly button. You're going to go for time. Whenever you feel 80% toasted, you're going to come on down and clock that. As you return to your planks, we should gain the strength to start adding time. Fantastic. And come on down. Knees touch. Walk it on back. Give yourself a breather, a pat on the back. You've just finished our flow. Great work.